Hey guys, welcome back to the part 2 of this series. So like I said earlier, Chakra UI is a React component library, which means it gives a lot of convert React component that we can use in our application. So if we go over to the Chakra doc, I come over to the component, you see we have a lot of points of components, and each of these components are fully styled out of the box. So we don't have to style it, but we can also change those default styles by using the style prop like I explained earlier. So it's a style prop, are basically prop that it passes into the component and into the component and style them differently, very similar to CSS rules. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you basics of how we can use some of these more simple components. Like we have the button, the heading, the container, text, etc. And how we can add styles to those props and also add a few other types of props to those components as well to customize how they look. So as run npm run dev system, we should start up a server. So let's open the browser to view it. So what I'll do here, I'll position them between each other so it's easy for us to switch between them. So we can view whatever we do here. So I'll close this terminal. So first and first, we need to go back to the dashboard page. So if we come up with the dashboard page, we will need to wrap this text, remove this text, and wrap the entire place with the box component with the div. So we'll start with the heading component. So I'll type in the heading component. As I'm typing, you can see it's showing the drop down. So I click here. So it imports the header components, the heading components here. So let me just close that. To make sure the heading component is imported on the Chakra UI React package. So very service and also here. So inside the heading components, I'll just type in something like React Chakra. I'll save this. We should see the shades appear on the browser. So I can insert this to see the defaults. So if we come over here, let's close this down. Let's show this orange. You can see that it is switched to, and it's applied different style to it automatically. So remember, because I said this kind of this history is pre-configured with styles by Chakra UI has given us. So we can try another one. If I try the text components, also I've seen before. Let's come over here and type in text. Manage. Make sure to import the text component at the top of the page. So the text component is used in place of the paragraph tag by your default HTML. So if I place in some dummy data here and I click on save, you can see that I put the text on the browser. When I try to inspect the page, I go over to this place, you can see that by default the text is a paragraph tag and some styles are being added to it by Chakra UI. That is it for the text components. We're going to look over another component which is called the container. So the container, we use it to wrap the entire component here. So to do that, we're going to replace this div with the container and make sure to import it. So what does the container do? It brings all the content together into a central column on the page. It does not take the actual full width of the page, just only the center. Once I click on save, it should appear. Let me expand the browser, and you see that it has taken the center of the page. So if I try to inspect this and I come over to it, you can see it here. See that it attributes only a these and some styles are added to it. So guys, these are the basis of component. So like I said, also we can use something called a style prop to style this different component as well. Let's look at that. Now let's go over to the doc. If you come over to the doc and click on style prop, you can see that we have different style prop we can apply to the different components to individually style them. So we can scroll down here, then you can see we have different options here. We can see the maximum width. I will also see the maximum in the horizontal direction. So now this is just a simple example, but if we scroll down, we can see different type of property, CSS property that we can use. So we can see the shorthand version here of margin. You can see the margin top. It's clear explanative here. And all these are for the space kind of style pro. Then if we scroll down, we can also see the color and background color. You can see the property here. We have the color and the background color. We also have the gradients and the background flip. Also for the typography, we have the font and the line height. So there are a lot of CSS properties that we can pass as prop to these different components. Now we can't cover absolute every single CSS property, but there's a way we can kind of get around that. I will show you later. For now, let's just try to use some of these few different style property. So let's start with the heading over here. So over here, what I want to do here is to add a margin in the y direction, that is the up and down. So I could just say MY. You can see it here. So once I click on this, so we are going to pass in 20 pixels. So we'll have a margin in the CSS, margin at the top or bottom in the CSS of 20 pixels. You see it's a real spacing of 20%. So if I save and come over here, let's come over to the browser. You can see that we have the margin spacing here. If I try and inspect it again, so that we can look at it, you can see that it has a margin of 20 pixels. You can see top and bottom is 20 for the heading. So let's go over here to also add another different style property. We should add the padding. So after you can say P, you can use either P. If you want to go for the long version, you can use padding. So anyone is preferable. I prefer the short one, so I just put padding equals to 10. So and once I save, also if we go over here again, you can see that the padding has also been added to it. So if I come over here, now we can see, we scroll down, you can see that padding 10 is added to the entire heading component. So also let's also go down to the text component. So for the text component, I would also like to add in the margin left. So I will just add in the margin left. Just put ML, which is for margin left. You can also use the large one, margin left. So I'll just put margin left equals to, let's say 20 pixels. So if we save it and let's preview it, you can see that it has a space here. You can see the margin between here and here. If you try and inspect it on your own, you'll be able to see it. You see this space. So all these things are being applied to all of these components. So let's also add some different styles. I'm going to say, let's add follow to each of the components. So come over to the heading component. Now let's put in color. Select the color, and so I'll set this color equals to green. So once I type in, so first thing we need to also know is that Chakra has its own color palette, and you can see that we have different type of colors. If you come over to the dock, let's go over to the dock and go over to color. If you go over to color, let's look for it. So if you take a look at everything we've done, everything looks very much okay. Passing the styles with the individual prop to the component is, I think we've learned everything about it. But there's other ways we can pass prop that Chakra UI provides us with, which is called the XX. So first of all, let me create another box component. So I'll come over here at the bottom and type in the box component. So inside it, I'll put in a text component. I'll just fill it with a text. I'll just say subscribe to the channel. So if I save this, so we need to pass in the X prop. So right here, we're going to come over to the top of the page, and let's give this a component. Let's call it a box style. Yeah, we'll set it very close to an object. So we're going to pass in some CSS property. So to do that, we are going to, let's take in the box style and put it into here. So I'm going to call this XX component vertices and passing the box style. So any CSS property we have put in here, we reflect into the box components, similar to the way we pass in the individual prop. But here we are passing it as a group. So today, let's start off with some basic ones. Let's pass in the padding. So I'm just putting the padding, and let's say that it's equals to 10 pixels. You can see. Then let's put in, let's put some background color. Let's put some the short form BG, and let's say the background color here is blue with a strength of 400. That's 400. So let's save that. And if you come over to preview this, we should see this. So that it has given it the color. Let's make the text color white. So we can come over here. So we know that this text component is a paragraph type. So we can also do that here. We can come over here and put in paragraph curve, put in the color and set it to white. So if we come over here, you see that text component color is now white. So from there, I hope you've understand the individual way of passing styles to the components and also the group way using the SX prop to pass in the group style. Before I forget, let's add some other style property to the text component. So come over here, I'll put in the margin to all sides, we'll put it to 10 pixels. Then also set the text to text, outline, center. Let's save this. Then if you come over here, you can see that it also reflects. So if you ever forget any of these property name, remember to check out the docs. There's a list of different style property that you can use. So now if I save, so now since you have checked this, we are going to go on to add in some other style property to the box component. So what I want to do here, I want to add in the pseudo classes. So I want to make the box component to hover whenever our mouse come over it. So to do that, we're going to come over. So I want this for the box component. So to do the hover price, we can just put in a sort of, normally we do it in CSS like this over. So it's going to throw an error here. So to put that, we need to wrap it inside code. Then come over here and add in this. I remember to add in the comma. So anything we put here, the style CSS property of styles we put here reflects in the hover state when our mouse hover the box. So what I'm going to do here in the hover state, I'm going to make a background to the blue of with blue the strength of 300. So if I study, so let me save it. Okay, I can also add the text. Let me add that before I go to preview this. So let me add the text color of black. So just put in text color or black color. Black. So okay, now hopefully when I hover the box should appear. So let's preview it. Let's check it out. So well, over here, if I hover it, let's see the changes. It has changed, but notice that the text color does not reflect here. You can see that it's only the box that reflects, and this is because the color is being directed to only the box but not the text. So you can come over here, and to do that, let's take away this. We can come over to the text, the p tag, come over here, and let's do the same thing here. So to make it for all the boxes, we can also put the p tag here and make this color of black. No one should be confused, but if you do that, you can see that it does reflect. This hover style can also be applied. Also, if I combine this and I come over here, it can also be applied here. You can do it like this, hover, then put it close to, then inside the bracket. Then we can also add in the BG row of 300. Then you can also add in the p tag too. So let's do it like that. Let's view already background color. And if you come over here in the lights, you can see it also reflects. Awesome. So that is a good thing. That is a good thing about using styles this way inside the object and passing it as a value to the else prop. So hopefully now you have gotten the basis of how to use this Chakra UI component. Remember, we have to import any of the components that we're using. So make sure you import most of the components we're using, and also use different style props to apply to this individual styles to those components. It's not just a container component that we can use this X prop. We can also use it here. We can also come here and instead of E, we can set it into span. And if we save it and come over here, try and inspect this, we can put it here. You see that it has changed the HTML tag to span. So I hope you guys have learned a lot on this course. So see you in the next course.